This practice is brought to you by Shanthi Project, a 501c3 educational nonprofit teaching social emotional resiliency through the practice of mindfulness.
Try and just notice when that inner critic arrives, what our judging mind does, and give us an idea of how do we work through that moment when that inner critic comes up and we try to reason with it, or maybe we even validate it through old patterning of behavior. And we're going to try and use our breath to shift our thinking away from the inner critic. So some of the practices that we've done, like stop or rain, those practices help us to acknowledge and investigate what is coming up. So we'll bring into that investigation and that acknowledgement of what is arising. And then we can try and let it pass or let it be what it is without continuing the conversation. So wherever you are right now, let's start to just take a comfortable seat, whatever that looks like, whatever that feels like for you, whether you're seated in a chair or you're sitting on the floor, or maybe you have decided that you could recline in a different position. And so wherever you are, just make sure that you feel a connection of your body, whether it's to the seat or to the ground. Maybe you notice the soles of your feet touching down onto the floor. Maybe you notice points of contact where your sit bones are, where your spine is. And then just take a moment to travel upwards and scan the body, your upper neck, your shoulders, the arms. See if there's any hanging on there. See if there's any tension there. And then just take a moment to move your neck a little side to side. And then gently rocking your way back to stillness. And finding all the connected points in your body. Allowing yourself to sit with a sense of dignity and a sense of ease. And then let's give ourselves 3 rounds of breathing in through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth with a deep sigh. So we'll breathe in through the nose and then open the mouth and exhale out a sighing breath. And we're going to do it just like that 2 more times. Breathing in through the nose. Opening the mouth, maybe you make sound as you exhale. And give it 1 more time. Feeling that breath in. And then allowing that air to go out. Now let's stay with our focus on our breathing. It doesn't have to be the deep inhale and the sighing out of the breath. It can be your natural rhythm of breathing. Just noticing the physical sensation that comes with the breath in. That's followed by the breath out. And staying with that posture of ease and strength. Noticing when your attention or your thoughts wander. Just simply go back to the feeling of the air moving in and the air moving out. Observing where in the body that breath goes. And just allowing that sensation of breathing to be like an anchor of a ship, allowing you to ebb and flow with the waves, but to remain still, here, and present in this space. And then begin to see, is your mind judging a situation? Is it judging if you cannot connect to the breath or the sensation? If the mind wanders, is there a judgment attached to the mind wandering? So noticing your judgy mind at work, knowing that for many of us, simply attempting to focus on the breath is enough to bring a lot of self-judgment to the mind. You might have immediately started with thoughts like, I'm not very good at this, or I should do this more often. But for this brief practice, just consciously reflect on somewhere else in your life where you feel judged. Maybe it's at work. Maybe it's as a parent, or a judgment attached to your child or a situation. Notice how your judgments are not just a single thought. Our judgments affect how we feel, and they bring tension or unease to the body. It may influence your emotional state. Just notice where your thoughts go when experiencing this kind of criticism or self-criticism. What patterns do you fall into under this kind of feeling? As you breathe, just see what you notice. Are there judgments? Or are you at ease? Are you attempting to rationalize, I should say, this moment? Are you trying to reason? So start to practice leaving that voice of judgment, that inner critic alone. As you breathe, see if you can stop wrestling with it, or appeasing it, or pushing it away. Take a few moments, breathing in and out, assessing what is arising. Maybe you're like that ship, ebbing and flowing with each moment that you're here. If there are quite a few judgments today, or if there's a particular voice that resonates for you, a critical voice, can you label it or give it a name? Can you recognize what it feels like to you? And then let it be. Just breathing in, noticing, breathing out, letting it be. On each in-breath, acknowledging whatever you're experiencing right now in your body, your emotions, your thoughts, knowing that there's nothing to fix or change. This is what's going on right now. I am breathing in, I am breathing out. Sometimes thoughts come, sometimes I am able to let them go. And then take a moment to wish yourself what you would wish for a close friend if they were having self-judgment or criticism. How would you show that friend compassion? What are the words you would choose? And can you recite those words directed towards yourself? And wishing yourself relief or strength or humor or joy or anything else that feels appropriate. And breathing in, breathing out. Wishing yourself well, not because you deserve it more than anyone else, but because you deserve it just as much as anyone else. Sit with that feeling for a moment, knowing that you deserve the goodness just as much as anyone else. That you are worthy, that you are loved, that you are seen, that you are appreciated, just like anyone else. Notice how that feels in your body. Notice if the inner critic tries to jump in. Can you sit in your body and just know that you are deserving just as much as anyone else? See if you can stay with that, the breath, the anchor of the breath, and the quieting of the inner critic. And bringing yourself back into the soles of your feet, the backs of your legs, moving upwards into the body, all the way up through the neck and the shoulders and the head. As you breathe out, softening any of the muscles of your face. And when you feel ready, taking a breath in through the nose, exhaling out through the mouth. If the eyes are still closed, go ahead and just flutter them open. And just take a moment to refocus yourself here in this room, wherever you are. And noticing just this moment, not judging, If you weren't able to quiet your inner critic, and noticing if that recognition that you are deserving just as much as anyone else, how that felt. And as you move about your day, see if you can stay connected to that feeling whenever the inner critic shows up. And so I want to thank you guys for arriving here in the space with me today. Let's just take one more round of breath together, a big inhale and a sighing out of the breath, knowing that you can always come back to these moments.